So, Here. Oh, there she is. Yes. So, yes, I just wanted to find out. Some of you have already started. That's great. This is but anyway, from but it looks like that's another copy of the assessment with the scoring booklet. Which one? Like when you go to Dibbles and go to download, it just gives you, it gave me a lot of things. Two things. There's one, it's like scoring PDF, that's like student PDF, but that also was confused. Then when you go to the scoring PDF, it's like what you're supposed to use with the kid. Okay. Is that what we're? That's what I want to clarify. Yeah, because it's like there was two, and I was like, oh, I can show you. Yeah. So you're supposed to have something in front of you as a PDF listening. Right. So that's what you're going to be marking. But then this is in front of the child. It's very similar though. One says benchmark, this is for kindergarten, and it shows like the page with the letters. And then the scoring guide has the place for your scores, but then it also has the first page with the letters. So yes, well, you're supposed to use that for the one you're holding. With the scoring guide? Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah, that's the one that gets. Okay. Because you do need to put those scores in there because that's what's going to help you to analyze the scores. Okay. I think it was the one where they gave you like two scoring things. So yeah, that was like the points and the directions are at the top. Yes, it's like that's the this is the first thing. Yeah. Yeah. That right. One, that's for the student. So that's so one is supposed to be for the student. Okay, you put it in front of the student. But you do need. Oh, and then you have your copy because you're scoring as they go. Exactly. Okay, got it. So all tests are like that, including the one that even one had many years ago, which we don't use any longer. And we usually don't use that anymore because just very long text. I didn't have the but this one is so much easier and it's also quicker because this one is just finish it in one. Alright, the other one. And we're going to on. Well, so if you look at the administration booklet, it does say that after 1 minute, you need to cut it off. You need to stop. Yeah, the student. But sometimes you'll find that the student might be struggling even before they get to the 1 minute. So maybe they're struggling, they're stuttering, they don't know what the letter is, they're looking up at you and things like that. So you can say, let's go to the one that you know next.
And then you just, once your timer goes off, you need to stop. Because the idea is not to frustrate it as they're doing the test. Some of them will come and they already know those letters and the sounds and all of that. But not every child will come with that. So you are going to definitely need the tools from but the idea is to make sure that you cut it off at 1 minute. Once your timer goes off, stop. Whatever it is that.
So there were also like many, the first test is this one we're talking about, letter naming fluency. Is that the only one we're doing, the letter naming?
No, all of them.
Okay, because then it goes on
Yes, that's supposed to do all of them.
in one, or whatever you can.
Whatever you can get to, not all of them in 1 minute, but each test is about a minute. So each one, the administration booklet. And I also posted
All the
videos for
videos,
you,
yeah.
for you to see how it's administered.
Okay.
So what you're trying to get to, for example, the letter naming, how many letters can that kid name in 1 minute? Because you have 26 letters. How quickly can they name those letters in 1 minute? Are there kids who are completing the naming of those letters before the minute is over? You know, one of the samples that I posted, you see that that kid is very, very proficient, which is actually what this test is supposed to test, is proficiency and the fluency of kids in all of these skills. So if somebody knows something, you will know by the how quickly they're able to finish the class. And that is what this is about. So for them, if they try to finish naming all those 26 letters in under 1 minute, you know that they are ready to. Next test. Test as if for a teacher who would do this 3 times in the school year, because it's been part of one, part of three. And so test say beginning, middle. And so you just do the first one, just the beginning. So and that's the I don't know in your school. Um, now, what's different? I want to say 6 times a year, but I'm sure of two. So one is at the beginning of the fall term. So they'll do that just to do some kind of benchmark. to see what is um, and then they'll do another one sometime in April or May this year. So I know that the one that the state had was that was close to. So they had booklets, administration booklets for the fall and the spring. And that's all they had. So it's the exact same test, except that you now want to see after all this time that you've been with your students, let's say for the fourth term, by December, they come back in January. So what do they know that based on your teaching from where they were before? So the fall is always the benchmark test. And then the next one is okay, after your teaching, these are things that happen.
I see. When you download it and print it, like you get 3 copies.
Yeah.
For each.
Yeah, so just do the one for the do the one for the fall.
Got it.
Pretend as if this is the fall semester. Just pretend as if you're just doing the student for the first.
The one that says one.
Which one did you do last year?
I in the kindergarten was one that took you to the University of Oregon. I took the same.
So you did the fall?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's the one with the story booklet, but
Yeah, the first
if
three.
you print all that, it's 16 pages.
Yes.
The first part, we only need 1 through 6. Because then it's repeated for the second, like if you're doing it a second time in a year.
Yes. That's how assessments are typically done in schools.
So it's just 1 to 6. Because I saw all these pages in a row.
I know. Yeah. It ends on page.
Because then we have to do the research paper that is from 5 to 8 pages, right, from this.
Well, we talk about our administration of this test and how we did it and the background of the student.
So, did you read the music?
I was doing that, but I was watching also the videos.
The video, so yes.
I'm not finished with that. That's why I have the
Okay,
question.
yeah.
I know, yeah, I'm partway through it. I have more to watch. And the administration booklet, I mean,
That's it from the University of Oregon.
yeah, I know, but it's 147 pages. So we honestly did not read it. I didn't print it and I didn't read
It's I didn't expect you to print it out. I don't have.
But the videos are more helpful.
Yes.
You get to see a teacher.
Actually,
Well, it was a teacher, but also was a mom with the daughter in the house. So, yeah. So, but then I was thinking at the same, something, because she was doing it with her daughter and she took almost more than 30 seconds to give the first answer. And you just have to see how many levels are saying a minute.
And she paused too long.
Yes, it was almost 30 seconds. I was like, oh my God. So then you get a kindergarten, they just said 3 words, or 3 letters. And how can we work on that? So,
Yeah, maybe it's because of the mom that's good. But for a teacher, you have to set a timer.
that's it. Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, because I saw that picture too.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Set your timer and you just get them to start. So the administration booklet. No, you are not supposed to done to print out. But what it does though is to give you information about how you might, how to analyze the sports.
So this might
It gives
help
you,
us with the paper.
exactly, yes. It tells you how you might analyze those sports. It tells you how to administer it too. Many of, excuse me, many of these administration booklets, what the time to give you some of the technical data, all of that, and everything that was factored. So I wasn't expecting like to look at that at all, but just look at, okay, how you're supposed to administer it, the test itself, and then how are you supposed to try to score. That's that's all you need. That's all you need for that. So it is in terms of analysis, um, what the course needs also, what are the things to this is based on uh, so does everybody in class have a child that they are? Anybody doesn't have a child? So how many people have actually started? How many people have studied? So let's check our textbooks out. Like that. That's definitely.
No, we were supposed to do the third channel, and then from, just whatever the result was, we were supposed to do the three activities based on whatever the challenge. So that's, like, everybody understand that? Like, what is the possibility of that based on the. So whichever child you assessed, the child from the. The child is your assessed. So based on the results of the assessment, you have to see where this child struggling. Where does he need improvement? What can he do to help with that? And then based on that, you have to now say, these are the activities that are improving. So when you do your basic performance, you have to do some kind of introduction of the child, the ISS, based on the assessment results. These are the areas where you will need improvements or need support. These are the three activities that we use to support. Let's say, for example, the phonological awareness, think that you need help with phonological awareness because of these three factors. So I would like activities for connection. Okay, so I'm going to put you in, let's see, in pairs. And we're going to go through the assessment checklist. Already done some of this. We'll be talking about this quite a bit. But I really want to have an assessment for production between for the for our but just looking for so let's see. So I want you to look at assessment concepts about it. Okay. Yeah. I want you to look at assessment. You're going to be looking at assessment layers. So these are some things we've already covered with that. I mean, what I mean is that we looked at sound, letter sound recognition, but how do you assess that? That's the question. Starting and the
work together. And I want you to take a look at the group section, which is, if the section has a video, so I want you to look at and Olivia and now, I would like you to know complete I would love to know what kind of money I'm going to ask them. But you know, and then Olivia, I will no, and then come outside and talk about this section. Okay. We got two video. You said I watched the first one? Yeah. I watched the first one.
Start by reviewing terms related to oral reading fluency. Then we'll define a new term related to assessment, words correct per minute. We'll walk you through the basic process of assessing oral reading fluency in each of the three main components of fluency: accuracy, rate, and prosody. Finally, we'll briefly look at how oral reading fluency assessments can be used in curriculum-based measurement and progress monitoring. The information presented in this video is focused on classroom-level, teacher-led, and teacher-designed assessments of oral reading fluency, rather than administering standardized assessments like the DIBELS or Aimsweb. Let's start by reviewing key terms. We define reading fluency as the accurate reading of connected text at a conversational rate with appropriate prosody. The three main components from that definition are accuracy, rate, and prosody. Accuracy is the number of words read correctly. Rate is the number of words read correctly per minute. And prosody is the expressiveness of oral reading. In this video, we will also refer to curriculum-based measurement, or CBMs. CBM is an assessment method that teachers use to find out and keep track of students' progress towards an individual goal for a specific academic skill. Now let's define the new term that you need to know. One of the most common and most reliable ways that teachers measure students' oral reading fluency is in terms of rate, or words correct per minute. This is a calculation of the student's reading rate and includes its accuracy. It's important to keep in mind that this is not simply measuring how fast students read a text. As you can see from the steps shown here, calculating words correct per minute takes accuracy into account. We will work through an example of how to calculate this later in the video. Now, let's look at the big ideas that we're going to address throughout the rest of this video. First, as we said in the definition of oral reading fluency, teachers can assess each of these three main components of fluency. Teachers use the data that they collect from these assessments to track students' progress and to select appropriate texts to use in fluency instruction. Assessing oral reading fluency is an essential tool that helps teachers and specialists identify students who are having trouble learning to read and may be at risk of later reading failure.
We have a minute. Oh, well, you don't have to watch it. Well, mine because it's like 4 minutes. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we have an empty space. It was in. Or do you want to? You can read it too. We can write it somebody else.
On each child. This is like we do this in fall. Then in the middle of the year. We're only doing it once. As we do it, it's always, it's that these things. But that's like a very. So if they make a mistake, they will mark up. So. This one says.
It was breaking down the how to calculate that word. Where it's correct. I don't know.
So, how do you understand the calculation or how to assess?
It describe those words and then it starts just.
Yes, okay, yes, I see that.
So goes from these. And then it went to mainly this.
It's like giving.
Yeah. There's nothing up here. Something at the bottom.
Mine is.
But 60 degrees.
Something totally different, yeah.
Yes, there's nothing at the bottom to move it.
Yeah, mine is like. Teacher understanding everyone successful student is reading passage. And I think the preference thought. What they're looking for is. Those are important. Training those. Child. Yeah, that was basically. It's just giving us a.
Oh.
They show, yes, and they show it here. So he said Barry, and she included it as like, yeah, it's worded as wrong, but he self-corrected. So now it's Jane.
Oh.
Yeah. So if he corrects himself, that's it's a pass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Correct.
So now the other one, he said it wrong, so that.
And then he did repeat it. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically.
Yeah, then it's mainly about that little scoring words per minute.
That's basically one of the tests we would have to do this with our.
Yeah, I think that's all of that too.
I think it's probably the exact same text. Yeah.
Not really yet. Me too. That's kind of just started, so maybe the intro, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, when I was looking at it. Are you doing it on a relative?
Wait, what?
The test,
What about?
are you doing it on a relative, a kid, or either?
Oh, like,
What?
oh, I know. I'm not really. The kids, a family friend,
Oh,
yes. So it's, well, I actually did it.
you're done?
I did the assessment right at the beginning,
Mm,
so I'm hoping that good enough for me to go on. But yes, I did that with him. It's relatively simple.
mm,
It was not, it was cool.
mm.
But I was thinking not to do the rest, because I thought it was at the beginning.
Oh, yes, it seems like it, like so many pages, don't do well.
Yes. So that's fine.
Mm, mm.
Are you doing it the right way?
Yeah. But he's not really within the age range, but his reading skill is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
There is no doubt. Which is on campus, but let's move fast to the end of the hall. There's nobody there. Chairs. Okay, thank you.
The whole.
Yeah, it's so easy to find an activity for it.
Yeah, this is book is great. It's a continuation of what that part.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Whatever that one. Experience. Because there was a deadline.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. Not correct. So let's get, are we finished?
Yeah.
So let's get started and look at some of these assessments. So these are the kinds of assessments that you actually assessing. Right from if you are teaching pre-K, some of these concepts about print, for example, that's actually like to use art. And that's, you know, what you need to do this type of assessment. But as time goes on, you have to do that as well. So do you want to come up and talk about? Hello, everyone. So we had an assessment concept of print. And pretty much what this is the student understanding of print differences between a letter and a word, differences between word sentences, punctuation, and how we read. And it also pertains to parts of the book. It should be assessed during kindergarten at the start and in the beginning. The age master will probably some kindergartners come in already practicing the skills, and others kind of master them later on.
And then questions and ways that we could ask to assist, would be, can you show me your letter? Can you show me your word? Can you show me your sentence? Maybe show me your period, your punctuation? And then, I guess those would be other ways that they could show up at their understanding of it. That would be like telling us, what punctuation is, or identifying the fact that, oh, my letter has a J, but also the month starts with J, like that.
And then we're also talking about with the assessment that we're working on that we have already completed. There is going to be a page for differential, it's like the letters, the students can identify those letters, and there's also a page for the word. Where there's different words, so different words have different meanings for children to understand that, and how we read from, you know, left to right, top to bottom, those are kind of concepts as well from print. And yeah, pretty much like kind of back to like the parts of the book from back kind of stuff.
Okay, I guess it kind of does relate to the assessments that we're doing on our own, because, there's a page where it says, just identifying, what kind of units they want to get. Sorry, the front to back, what part, yeah.
So that is called directional. So anytime you get that, you have anything about directionality, yeah, absolutely. So in this time, we cannot take any ones. You can't just assume that because we don't. So and this concept of very easily, it's just a matter of show me this and show me that. Show me the back of the book, show me the front of the book, show me where to start reading. Do I start at the bottom here, or where do I start reading? And when you get to the end of the line, you start, you make a sweep back to the left to begin reading, but then once you find out, so do I stop here, or do I continue reading from? And then you see whether they can tell you that you need to go back to the side. The left side. So these are little things that, because we already know how to read, we think we naturally know that, and they don't. So we have to, that's why we said. So, and so if we mention kindergarten, and then we do read those steps in kindergarten, but if you are teaching pre-K, at the end of pre-K, that kind of mention. But if you want to put this into instruction, so you don't want to wait till the end of, or end of this, of the term to do it to test. How do you think you can fit this into your instruction? So it's you and also the rest of the class. How might you put this into the instruction? What you are really in instruction? How might you incorporate this?
For like exactly like in the classroom, I would kind of just reading along with my finger to word, have the kids interact, kind of with myself in the front. Yeah, sorry, yeah. How we read, different parts of the book, talk about the illustrator, what they do for the book, and then talk about different letters, how we could also like when we're reading, like what you guys see, like, or like what are you guys understanding from like the pictures, something along to kind of understand some
So, Bethany has shared many times in class that she would just put something, just off the top like this. To incorporate numbers by saying, just adding to students to see whether the children. The other thing is to incorporate the concepts of French. Do things like, okay, so do I continue that? Or do I stop it? Do I stop? So just asking those types of questions. So it's an assessment, but there's a time when you put each child in front of you to do this assessment, but for the whole class, you can incorporate this into the teaching by just asking the whole class. So where do I start reading from? Somebody can show me where I'm supposed to start. And then you get to the end of the line, then from left to right, and then you get them. So what do I continue reading? So there's so many words on the page. So those are the kinds of things that you can incorporate to the student. So they may not be able to read big words, but they be able to tell you. So I think it's your chance. Eva and come on up, please, and talk about the next part with the so for the test letters information. So on this assessment, will be done in the format in the first grade along with so it is done that asking a letter, ask the student letter is this, and identify it, and so the sound of it. And it can be done with magnet letters, slip of paper with letters written on it, or digital images. And the letters and sounds should be taught at the same time. We're gonna be
the teacher explains the order in which letters is really up to the teacher, but he suggests that you have utility letters first. So letters that are most common in speech, like the letter S. Next he says you should letters that have continuous sounds like X and E rather than stop sounds like E and E. That's better. Next she says with the letter of the course to apply the sound knowledge to the year. So if we have a letter A and still already, instead of letters, or you start reading how to start. Just, you know, things are always said, it's really, it's about, so what would be the stop sound? And this is not just for English, for the rest of the class. What are stop sounds? Can somebody give me an example? I'm asking for sounds. What is stop sound? An example of the stop. Because it stops. Something that stops your, you know, with local sound, it just stops. There are sounds like it's a continuous sound. So think of, you know, that's another continuous sound. And is that a stop sound or is it a sound that is continuous? Stop. Okay. Yeah. Okay, can you say it? Okay, can. So those are stop sounds. So I know the difference between the two. So what she's suggesting is that the teacher is saying we should teach the continuous sounds first, instead of teaching those sounds that are stop sounds. Not that we won't teach them, but definitely we want to be teaching them. So, so that is her suggestion, but it's up to you. You know, she's just saying that this is very beneficial. So, and then, you know, so when we begin to talk about sounds of letters and all of that extra that is there, so what is going to be a little portfolio? You need to make sure that you're not submitting to me for these lessons for chronological content. So make sure that you don't make it so easy to really get it. Try and really get it done. That anything that has to do with sound has to do with chronological awareness. But as soon as you begin to talk about letters, you are entering into the domain of sound. So keep that at the back of your mind, because really show your confidence. So let's keep that in mind. So what you want to do, if your student, for example, needs improvement in phonological awareness, you should be focusing on sounds and sound activities, not letters. Don't start adding letters. So We looked at two parts. The first was assessing phonological awareness. So sound, not letter. And, it's done in kindergarten and first grade. And, there were many ways you can look at this. There was a whole video about rhyming. And you can ask, for example, just the question, do these words rhyme? And the child answers yes or no. So it was like dish, wish, mouth, top, or, but you have to mix it up sometimes. They don't know. The answer's not always yes. So it's just a question, do these words rhyme? A yes or no question. Another, example was the teacher read 4 words and the child had to indicate which of the 4 did not rhyme. It was more confusing because you could see that in the video, like, had to really think about that. But, one example was pad, dad, sad. She got that one quicker because tap was at the end, but the next one was fun, fun, tub, fun. And I think the teacher might have. She got it. Another rhyming test was just to have the child indicate or share a word that rhymes. So the teacher said, give me a word that rhymes with top. And then it produced the rhyme.
Also, with, vocals and onset line. So the video didn't show any voice samples of it, but with that, we kind of made our own. It was like syllables either in class or top for each syllable, right? Basically asking the things here with 2, like this word, how many syllables does this word have? Oh, and then we're like talking. And then some example was taking apart nursery rhymes or something. So giving them the song and then having them, you know, take it apart.
They could identify the rhyming words in the song or the rhyme.
For the first letter, the onset letter, first sound of it, and then the ending, rhyme part. Yeah. So, then we also had a phonemic awareness. So it, sorry, that's not, sorry. So they also talk about, so doing matching, isolating, blending, segmenting, and, manipulating. Yeah. And it also said that this, like, when they do this assessment, it's, kind of auditory. So the child is basically listening and they're going with like whatever she's with that. And it's something that's quick and individually, so it's all, you know, one-on-one with the teacher. And whatever they're working on, it's intentional to what they've been working on in class, so it's not like they don't know, or they should know. And it said that they work on it up until second grade. So it's also like a feel of the teacher working on the grade 5,
One of the examples with that was the teacher would say, I'll name you sound and you say the word. And she said, huh, it, go. So, so you wouldn't say the letter, but the teacher would name the sound. Another example was, how many sounds do you hear in fan? And then the child was thinking, so they were using the sound that say the sound and then they say 3.
So you can see, you are going to see this test again in your literacy assessment. The mini ones, roughly, you know, phonemic awareness is the number one way for you to know whether or not if they don't have it, then their reading is going to be very, very limited. And they have to learn the count. And then the last class, I mentioned something about the Matthew effect. Does anybody remember what that was? Matthew effect.
I wrote it down.
It's here. These are all my notes. I'm flipping back through all the notes on the video. The Matthew effect. I just love to these kids never catch up.
So don't ever assume that, you are really your student. You can do that. What to do instinctive work. If they're not getting it by kindergarten, they're really getting it now. Don't ever think, oh, they're going to run into that teacher in next door when they get to first grade. You literally, in your mind, you literally have the child back for you. If you don't do work on it. So never assume that they'll catch up because they don't. They just don't. So, and I remember the one school where I was doing consulting work, you know, these were things that kids would have known in kindergarten. Okay, so they gave them some grace and they thought, okay, well, maybe the first grade teacher, kids were still struggling in second grade. And the second grade teacher was just, I mean, she was just beside herself because she thought, who would let these kids get to this class without having worked with them intensely on explaining them? Because she had to teach second grade reading, and then on top of that, she now has to be picking up on things like the Shabbat. So she felt really overwhelmed because she thought, how am I going to get to my curriculum if the kids don't yet know this? So these are the things that you need to be aware of. And teachers can be very upset if the teacher report them, especially if the kids don't know what they're supposed to do. So make sure that at least they have the community managed and we do intensive work with the students. Never ever assume that they will catch up. Oh, they'll catch up in those things. We just added more work to that teacher. Not only have we added more work for her and him, we also added more time for the child. So you have to be thinking what you have to maybe do one-on-one with students and not to do that. Sometimes we put them in groups, but sometimes the thing may not catch on in there, so you have to be intensive work. You send things home to parents, sometimes parents help, sometimes parents don't. So you have to find more time in your community to be able to without the young we don't have actually have particular question. All right, so let's move on to the next part. And I think that Gladys and Olivia, I think that is actually.
So we had assessing phonics in our section. It talked about the types of phonic assessment. Four of them, and the first one is screening assessments, which are done typically at the beginning of the year. And one of the examples of these it assesses the phonemic awareness what are known as an initial sound fluency, and then this test done at the beginning of the year can provide information for what students might need additional support. The second type of assessment is the diagnostic one. It's a more detailed assessment and it might help pinpoint specific skills that students struggle with. And there's progress monitoring, which is regular assessments to track students' progress over time. And with that, it's tools like oral reading fluency to see how well students can apply phonics skills in reading. They're often called curriculum-based assessments, and those monitor phonics progress, and it involves assessing student performance on classroom instruction stuff that's within the classroom, and regularly using the CBAs can help track growth in decoding skills. And when I clicked on like the extra link that was in there, it said that CBAs are used every week. And that kids are tested briefly every week. It might be like a minute to 5 minutes, but each kid is tested, and then they would send that in home to parents, and parents would be able to also kind of help their child learn. And then there is summative assessments, which are administered at the end of the school year, and that evaluates their overall phonics proficiency. They use developmental rating assessments, which measure students' ability to decode words and read fluently.
So what I have was the method of assessment. For developing this, a strong phonics skills is essential for our students because basically the foundation, for reading proficiency. They have 5 types, letter sound correspondence, blending segmentation, word recognition. So the letter sound, correspondence to match letters with sounds or the corresponding sounds, and they use flashcards, letter sound matching or digital tools, or the blending segmentation, word coding, require these skills. So each of my app is students to combine sounds to form words or segment words into individual sounds. A common activity will be the coding basket, where students push counters into boxes as they take each sound. Word recognition is essential inside word recognition. It's important because teachers and students teacher will test the students' reading and speed and accuracy with word lists and flashcards. Decodable text, the students respond focused books. So teachers record students' reading mistakes and self-correction to test phonic understanding. And the spelling inventory is required students to spell difficult words. And teachers can assess the student phonic knowledge by examining the spelling patterns.
So I what stage do you think that we need to circulate? Like students need to be able to exhibit these things that you mentioned. What parts is it?
That they're like progressive things. First, I think
And I'm glad you said that, because sometimes I don't think about it.
but I can feel that.
Not
I feel like
they don't know that it's happening.
they just
No, it's not the same.
They don't know how to combine words.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And the other thing is that you cannot feel each other. So even if you have to cannot feel.
Yeah, no child left behind, so that it's tough. And that's what you just mentioned about like,
Well, I know it happened to my daughter when she was teaching the fifth year. She was not allowed to feel a child, even though this child turned nothing in all year. What?
Let's start, because I had a kid in my
I guess
sixth
like
grade class.
15 years, right?
Can't help that. With me,
I don't know when that was.
this was in.
What? Not anymore. I didn't know that. She taught second grade. Yes, and this kid didn't turn it anything the whole year. And, you know, even the work they did in class, the poetry, and she taught second grade. And the poetry, now I mean, that was the shock of her life. Ah, what? Yeah, so, no,
Okay, nice.
so it's a quite like you just have, you just have, I think that that just discourage her immediately, like, that means I'm not telling the truth about this child's, ability. And, you know, moving him along would say to the third grade teacher or the teacher in grade 3 that this kid can do the work of his third grade. And he couldn't even do the work. So she that just really discouraged her. I know that. Um, so no, but why not do that? And she did everything. I know that she spent time to work with him one-on-one during breaks. So instead of going to a lunchroom, she would be in her classroom, she would be working with the kids. Couldn't get a hold of the parents. One time the grandparent answered the phone, but she never saw who came and picked up the child. Not one time. So, you know, you wind up your kids are reading something about when she, you know, half an hour will go by, 45 minutes, so she will usually just go and sleep in her principal to wait there for the phone. So those are the difficulties. Never showed up for what do you call that? Pick up, report card pick up. Just never saw the family. So it's like and she could not do it. So those were really difficult experience for somebody who was so very into just her very first job at the time. So the very first time. And I was on this north side of Chicago, so it's a good school. You know, but that I just know that that particular kid really struggled with it. Not kind of anything. So anyway, so that's the situation. And so I'm glad you said that. There are some parents who wouldn't mind. They say, if my kid is not reading this, I need to then get the feeling, or I need to learn myself, or I need somebody to hold him back so that he will run before moving forward. But your principal will not do it, depending on where that.
I got to do two observations in different places. One was in my son, which is a part of the team, and I did one in CPS. And that's why it's in first grade, because I got to see first graders and they don't know, like, people learn something, like, and they were in first grade. And at kindergarten, and my son's at school, like, they kind of studying reading like easy words. Like, they really mentioned that. So I saw a huge difference. Same grade in different places. And like it was.
Yeah. So it depends on where you go. So I can understand few things. There are some parts of Chicago I can name things for you. And if you go there, you know very sure that yes, by the end of kindergarten, you'll be. But there are some other parts that you just want to do still. So what's the reason for that? Let me put it down there. Ask you that question. What do you think is the reason for some of this? Is it because the teachers are not good teachers? I don't think so. Well, so what are the reasons for this type of great discrepancy?
I really don't she's affected by, I believe it's like enrichment people, so she's like, over the, going to the south. And, she first worked as a teacher, and she was a teacher, but now she's a teacher. And the thing is, like, she can barely read. And I was thinking, like, she doesn't know how to write in Spanish. And she is like, and I told her that when I was making all these classes, I'm like, you see this class, she said, "Oh, I didn't do that." And I'm like, "Well, that's really weird." But, I'm assuming that I'm giving myself, these classes and these books and like the assignments and like, so, well, in this case, I can't say that I wrote them. And she would, yeah. And she started, they got you.
Well, because there's a shortage and it's desperate, so I think, yeah, not all teachers are equal
Yeah,
in their abilities, they're not.
one of my friends, girlfriends, she was a school nurse, but they had enough teachers drop out that she was a kindergarten teacher. She never, she was a nurse. Now she teaches kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I have kindergarten class. Somewhere like,
And I was-
somewhere in Chicago.
And I was concerned when she was like, 'cause we can take classes with the master together like this year since spring. And like, it's a matter of work, we have a lot of things to do, and and like when I saw these assignments, I'm like, I sent some of them to her. Like, oh, I never done. I'm like, oh, great. I should go to the south side. Instead of living around here, I'm gonna move to the south side, 'cause like, but then I feel bad for those students. Like you just said, they go to second grade, they go to third grade, and then some teachers that like really went to school and, prepare themselves, like they're stuck with these kids. Like, they just passing the years without knowing.
So therein lies the conundrum. So my question to you is, what type of teacher do you want to be? Because you have to ask yourself, if your kids are in kindergarten, can you help them to just go over that hump in order to be able to, I think, be able to do some of this by the time they end up finishing up. So I know that's not easy because you're going to need help, you're going to need the help of families to join you, or to say, okay, we're getting extra help from my from their kids. So you get help in some places and then you wouldn't get help. That is true. The parents will be out and help you. I still remember the one parent who, at the end of the kindergarten year, who was consulting. This teacher had never, she did teach because I was in her classroom, so I saw this, I knew she was teaching. But this kid was very quiet. From the back, they were doing the book, she was just there at the back. At the end of June, she only knew 2 letters, and those were the initials of her name. That's it. At the end of June, and she had this teacher taught. I saw her teaching. So some kids got it, they knew the sounds, they could tell you the sound, they could tell you names of objects that starts with the particular sound or particular letter or whatever the case might be. She knew just 2 letters as initials. That's it. So that was at the end of June. So the mom came in and I said to her, I really thought about maybe helping your child with some of these things. She said, well, can you help her? I said, but this is the end of June. So, the school is almost over. We had 2 more weeks before the end of school. So the remaining 2 weeks, I did some intensive work with the students. We did letter hunts around the school. I take them to the hallway. What's this letter? Does it say? Can you give me the sound of it? Can you tell me some names? Anyway, she was eventually diagnosed with a learning disability. But She was very quiet. She was one of those students that got lost for the whole year because she didn't get in trouble. She didn't cause any difficulties for the teacher. She was not a squeaky wheel. So the teacher was beside her, so how would I have missed her?
Mhm.
But wasn't the teacher that missed her, it was just because, you know, there was no help at home.
Mhm.
And she was also very quiet. You know, you tend to pay closer attention to people who would give you some difficulty in class or trouble in class. But she was totally quiet and she just didn't say anything. But she was eventually diagnosed. But that was
Mhm.
quite a big shock for the teacher. And for her too, that was her first.
What grade was that?
Kindergarten.
There's another parent's mentality there, like, oh, well, like, we have to run, but they don't like it to school.
Yeah.
And then they're not engaged, like, after school, and like, you know, they're doing all this stuff, and they're doing, and like, you know, reading a book and like practicing some words, because I remember when my child was, he was 4 when he entered pre-K, 3 years ago, and his name is long, his name is Gianluca, and he knew how to write his name, he knew the sound, but I was like, you know, with the alphabet and like putting like funny songs in my car, so he repeated it. So it's kind of you know, you have to balance between parents and teachers. Not like
And then there are some kids who are reading.
yeah,
By the time they get to your class,
Mhm.
yeah.
so it's like, huh? Okay. You know, they're reading that flying ahead of you even, you know, you're trying to hold them back and they're just flying ahead and you're doing advanced work with them. And then you see the ones that are still low, you know, when you it's going on there. But as I mentioned to you, this parent really was trying to push the job to me. I was trying to help.
And it's a partnership.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She said, well, why don't you help? I said, this is a kind of you. Some help tomorrow with some school.
And especially when ask for this stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, you see anything, you know, wrong, then maybe what, how many December, hey, how can I, you know,
Yeah.
work together in order to.
No, but this particular parent is not interested in helping doing anything herself. She just wants somebody else to encourage.
Like, you don't know the background sometimes, right? Like, is that parent working 2 jobs? They're exhausted, they have 3 other children, like, who knows? the story. But still, it's,
But now that you mentioned that for me, it's like, I'm not concerned now because I'm in it. You know, I know all the things. And, you know, parents, but men are like, not nerd. You don't even understand. They can like, they don't know, like, you know, they might be people that is others. They don't make it. So it's really.
well, right, so there's an example, like, the school needs to send home a newsletter in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many schools are doing.
They
that.
are.
Yeah,
It's not edited.
But I remember one thing that was like in high school, back then, like my advisor, she was doing Spanish, and oh my God, like I didn't understand. So, and you know, I was taking notes, like every time she said a new word like that, I was like, can you please write it? So then to look in the dictionary for the meaning. So it was, yeah.
So, you know, we are bringing all these things up so that you know what you are up against. But we need that collaboration with parents and, people saying things like, you win some, just for the children, and we can get them over that hump and feel like what it is. But if the teacher doesn't know, then that's the because that's what you are describing. Yes.
Or the nurse, yeah, but she was coming from a hospital to a classroom.
I think she just had to say that the lights. What? I don't know, like, I don't like that premise here, but. She worked at the school as a nurse, so she like knew all the teachers and the principal like asked her like, where's the school? And they were like, so she had no time to cover over the summer. Like, she was like, "You know, teach this in a class." And I don't know if they gave her like a smaller class or something, but I'll have to ask next time I see her if she's teaching. But when she told me, I was like, did you take it in the teaching classes? And I think she said she took some like, not like fully full. She just took some, but they stuck her in it. And there's another TA in it, but I think, or there's another teacher. I think it's another nurse. So I don't think that it's like an actual teacher, it's just two nurses.
It's interesting how like these laws or these rules can be, you know, abused, I guess. I mean, it's supposed to be governed by like the state and the nation, right?
That's
There's
what she
laws.
said, I was like,
But, yeah, and it's supposed to, because there's definitely, and, you know, we, all of our program went through the states.
well, yeah, that's when she was telling me, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm like, so you're telling me, I can go, I'm gonna finish this, and so she was like, yeah, like, I don't really know how, like, so next time I see her, I'll have to ask her, what, how did you?
Yeah, now we don't wanna know.
Yeah, I'll have to ask her next time I see her.
mention the school that I know there is close by, principal school. And, you know, that like, now, most of these things that are coming up, they get to have the work permit. We didn't have before, so now they have these facilities that are getting them. And, a friend of mine told me that the principal hired two ladies from Venezuela. And she was like, oh, yeah, I've been working on two ladies. And I was, what? So, like, right now, it's.
And then think about. Every families who doesn't have the funds, then they have to. And the big two, that's definitely big so for. Big two you, very something, but the one that makes that to do the school. And so vouchers have been eliminated, so that's the problem. So then we parents who want their child to go to another school, because especially like the tertiary areas, still some of, you know, we don't have that possibility. So that's especially maybe a lot of for many families. The voucher system is being eliminated because the city doesn't want it, but then we have schools that we have to.
There's definitely politics, like you said. I don't know, my kids are older, so I haven't kept up with District 65 in Evanston. But I know, there's a general bad feeling about it. People are not happy, and I can't keep up with it. It's been a long time, and my husband told me it's like some huge financial deficit. So I was trying to understand, how did that happen? Were people stealing money? I don't know. And then I learned, recently that, you know, the law is supposed to be, you have to be five for kindergarten. But now they're testing 4-year-olds who want to get in. If parents are pushing their 4-year-old to go early, they'll supposedly test them, and if they pass the test, they'll take them in early because enrollment is low. So it feels like, is this like a governed school, or is this like a business?
Yeah, money, right?
But yeah, what's happening? I don't understand it, but,
That's what I'm saying about these ladies, like, they just don't, they're not teachers.
and then there's the pay to
And then,
teachers.
oh,
It's the,
we're paying,
it's
that's
terrible.
terrible. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot going on. When you know, all of us are just kind of lay low and you do your job and you go home and you take care of your family, but there's so much that's going on, and unfortunately, the fallout is on those kids. So, so for yourselves, when you become a teacher, you have just a lot of variety in the classroom. You have kids who are already reading, you have students who cannot put two letters together or two sounds together, and you have to help them. And then there are some kids who, no matter what you do, they still will. So hopefully you'll have families on your side, and it's supposed to be a partnership. Whatever you can do them so that give them what to take home. You know, your child needs help with this, and you help them do this, and you do this kind of activities with your child. And just one or two every week or something. You say, you know, if you can help your child, that would be good. But then there will be some families that will say, well, people once it's the language, so you can't help them. And you don't have money for tutoring, so that makes it more difficult. So, yeah, there's just a lot, you know, when you think about it. And you know, children now, this could be children that respond. Yes, exactly, you know, at least, yeah.
Also bring your time, like if you don't have anything, like you don't have to look for another, you know.
Yes.
tools, you know.
And that is something that maybe we could really to, what they parent needs, so if they come for parent meetups, we can show them how to do that. And this is how we can access that information. Yeah, if you don't have no, you know, PBS, WCW, it's not very good because I'm thinking for study, all those things like really, all you need to do is just turn it on and, you know, they have good programming for it. But it's also just even providing opportunity to say, go to this website or go to this station, and you'll be able to see some of these information. We're hitting our heads. All right, so the last group. Um, for the first part, it's a, it's really about the, fluency of how many words the kids can say, and you give the formula by like if there's 100, then they find it. And it- that, that is called the, word per minute. And this is to see, it's part of the oral reading fluency. And that is, one of the assessments. So they're looking at words per. Yeah, how many, like, there's like, how many words they got right, and then the. If the child. Yeah, she wouldn't want to go. Yeah. So they're looking for expression. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. So fluency, when we talk about fluency, so Dibbles, most of Dibbles is about fluency, but as I explained to you earlier, when we were in the room now, very cool. You know, the whole of Dibbles is about fluency, but their fluency in all of these snapshots that we've been looking at, letter name, in phonemic one, in phonological one, in phonemic one, and in fonts. So they want to see how quickly kids can get through the letters or the letter name and some of these words. Consonant, and how quickly they will understand it. But this particular part of fluency is the reading itself. You know, the children have expression when they're reading. You know, we have that prosody. You know, Are they very expressive? You know, instead of what colors, you know, when you have the word color, they're just trying to get to the end of the word because they don't know how to say it. There's no fluency there. So you can distinguish between a child who reads well as opposed to a child who does not read well by the expression that they have when they're reading. And the comprehension, and they have comprehension at the end because fluency is the midpoint, it's like the bridge between phonics and comprehension. If they don't have fluency, they will not be able to comprehend our text. So, and as you know, we have said, this is a step-by-step process. Kids really need to know each step really well. Once they know they're very fluent with decoding, with the meaning awareness, they know the sounds of those letters, they're able to say the word. Once the letters are mentioned, and they're able to look at a text to see this is what this says. You know, this is whatever it is. And they look at that. So first it's going to be like a color. It's going to be like public, you know, when they start reading. So of course they'll call words. They don't expect comprehension at that stage because they're still trying to just even figure out what this word says. They're still trying to do that. So by the end, if you ask your child, so what did you learn from this? They will not be able to tell you because they're still trying to figure out what's that word? What's that word? What's the sound and all that. So they're still trying to figure out all of that. But when a child has comprehension, you know immediately because they will have expression in their voices. When they see an exclamation mark, they know is there something that is supposed to be like a declaration of something. So you'll be able to tell the way that they say the word or they actually read it, that they already have concept. If you want to ask those children, so what do you think the text was about? They will be able to tell you something. Now when they're really fluent, they're able to tell you exactly what. But this fluency is the in-between, is the bridge between the phonic skills that they have acquired and the comprehension. So they really need to get this. They won't jump immediately from phonics right into comprehension. They won't. They have to be fluent. So we have to teach them things like expression. You know, if you say an exclamation mark, what does it say? How would you read something with an exclamation? Like you know, ridiculous something. And by the time they are very fluent, you know that that's the in between, like toggling between you just scrolling, you know. Think about child development. The child is scrolling and then they stand up and then they take one step, they fall, they take one step, they fall. It's like toggling and then they start tuttering and all of that. They'll fall and then they get up again and then that is built into us as human beings. And they're typically developed, not built into us. If you won't see a child that will fall forever on purpose. But after some time we get up from the tunnel and then we start to run. And so this fluency it's like the toddler stage. If you call it the toddler stage of breathing. Because after this, when they really get and so fluency becomes very, very important. So then freshman, volume, once you're gonna reading, like natural speech. And when they're reading, phrasing, if you just go in your mind and say, okay. Students are new to do that, or just learning the skill, trying to learn and you fit your students, right? You have to teach them how to actually, read properly as well. It's possible. So, the big possible for people to understand it actually matters. And that's my encouragement to all of you. If you have the knowledge and the skills to be able to help the students, this particular text is pretty much, I really like it better than this last semester because it made it down for you, step by step, of what you need to do first and what you need to do next. Make, not to be, to be yourself, not to be, yes. So, so these are really some critical pieces of information that I want to just keep encouraging you to learn more about. The next section talks about spelling. And it talks about why inventing spelling is very important. And what inventing spelling tells you is that it tells you where your students are developmental. Because you see, what happens with points is that remember how we said you have 26 letters and you have 44 sounds represented by this letter. And then you have some that are very combination that are just not regular. Like we cannot say for phone. I mean we say, but it's represented by two different letters that's different from another sound that says. So you see those students representing phone with the sound, not with the PH sound, not the one that says. So that's the thing. So that really tells you that at least they're hearing the sound. And that is what inventive spelling does. That you want to see they're making the most, they're listening to the word and they're thinking, wait, these are the letters that will represent the sounds. And so they're just going to write. So it gives you a lot of knowledge about what they're bringing into their and if you go back to the section of spelling, you see that it talks about spelling different developments and stages. So you have to know what all of these stages are. Because it takes a while. It's only by third grade that the students actually get to if they already even understand the form. So you can imagine how much harder it could be if they don't get people skills from the end. Because all the skills are built. So if they don't have that, then the next skill that they're supposed to learn, they're not learning because they don't already know what this is. If I feel that conflicts, teachers who really don't have the skills, but that's necessary for them to learn well. Because I think even if it's and comprehension, so that's a very, very interesting skill that we need to learn how to assess as well. And so I want you to make sure that you read these sections so that when you go and listen to the students that you're addressing, you want to make sure what is the student's problem. It is a measure of these 5 areas. So it's phonics. So we have 5 major areas of learning. So we have psychological learning, so remember that community awareness is part of this, but in some texts, you are going to see that that's still separate. And then you have points, knowledge. So these are the 5 major areas of literacy knowledge. They build on each other, but they also work in concert. Like this is the whole thing. So the way I have it here is like it's one to this to that, but you'll find that as children know more, it becomes something like the circle, where you have one little thing. The more they know, the more you are going to see. The more they are very proficient in these areas, the more you are going to see that this is better and better. And the more they have for this, you are going to see that the vocabulary will change also. And this is where this is the goal. That's the target in something. Because what's the point of knowing these things and not having any comprehension? What would be the point of that? If you know the letters, you know the sounds, and you know the letters and the sounds, and you are fluent, you even know some vocabulary, but you don't have comprehension. What's the point? What would be the point of that? This is the target goal. That's the target. When your children, your students get to this part, the comprehension part, and you know that then they know how to read, and you give them a skill for life, but they'll never lose. But the child learning to ride a bike, you never not know how to ride a bike once you know. And it's like a skill for life, but reading too is a skill for life. That is actually can literally save your life. You know, to make sure that you get the right medication and you don't mix up the medication. And literally save your life. So this is at first it looks linear, but or linear, but eventually it's like this simple. So these are the 5 major areas of literacy knowledge. That of course there are other nuanced, but we have looked at some of the activities that have in class. Comprehension. One of the things in comprehension is ask questions about when you get to the school, when you take the course on children's literature. So we have more children's books, different kinds of genres of books. We look at that, one thing. Different five actually exploring different books. And so, the the goal with all of this is to so, I want to just end here. Um, the textbook has some, this information about the pages that you can use for. Does this make sense to you? About what you're asking, but there's a little bit of young children. Tell me how this is making sense. I see a picture in my phone. I think it's what you're talking about, we just kind of see this because I really. And then I was in the last class. The challenge that was not good. And we thought that kind of talking about part of this, like, what we understand this is a little bit better, why we're doing it. It's kind of what everything, it's so. No. People who don't, who aren't aware, they think, oh, like, early childhood educators just don't play with. They're just little kids, you just play, but it is a lot. We can get to some of these like playing, but we are not just playing. Right, right. We can teach many of these skills by playing. We can do phonological like rhyming. We can play rhymes and things like that. We have fun in class, but it's serious business. Because laying the foundation for the skill that you're doing is for their lives. We're developing this time that's suggested by the. Yes, and actually, when you one class, that was the question. They separated these just different things. It's a really good. So. How about you, partner? I think people have part of it. You get a big understanding. Like when you first focus on one, and then you move on to the next, and now looking at it, it's like easy to understand. Maybe the next part kind of the teaching. That's how when you like digest each part. So we're looking at each part, but this is the struggle. This, as a teacher, these are the things you have to put in the classroom. I don't know where you're going to land, in terms of what we do I teach, but each level has a. So this is typically developing a level and technological awareness, as we said, there are some students. Okay, so I think the or live station that communities goes on to the company. I think with the third grade program with political hands. Just because we cannot produce response to so if the young change asking questions about so what do you think so another is typically by second grade you should have all this done. And with mornings you have different levels. Dancing, smaller words that they know. By kindergarten and by second grade they know. But by the reading, they should be by the time the students do, I think they should be focused. What can I look at really with them and show them how the environment feels and the rope? Yes, the rope. Yes, I think, let me see. I was trying to try to remember, but that was kind of like what just, I think I said, like, you know, like everything is connected and in order to get into the target, it's a lot. Yes. Behind that. Yes, so we had the rope, I think it was. Yes, yes. So I think that's chapter 6, I think, yes. It talks about the financial need, it talks about the complexity of the living brains, it talks about the science of the so that's chapter 6. So, because that's why you see the reading book. But I'm going to send you the video that talks about this part. There was a particular this particular teacher said, oh, now that I see these 5 skills that my students need to give me good information about where I need to take my students. Oh, it's a Scarborough. A Scarborough. Yes. So, this is where we're going to. That's all we're building towards in community. But the video I'm going to post is just this teacher who just had this epiphany. She said she really struggled during her first 2 years of teaching. And then all of a sudden, once you understood that these are the kind of things that she's supposed to be helping her students with, then everything came together. And she was able to now build activities to feel to which child knows which one and talking for what do I put this child and do I put this child in from groups in classroom and things like that. So, but once she knew these 5 things, she was done. She everything came together. So, but this is the target, but this is where we start. I'm going to be asking all of these questions. How do you see your role in question? And we're looking at different pieces. But now, hopefully, so the strength that you're going to and where is this child in this map? You know, what does the child know given this map? This child. Yeah. You know, what's this kid? And based on what the kid is, okay, what kind of activities can I have to help this? Beginning of the year, but she thinks something like you're leading them. I didn't want to get it, and then again, if you get it, it's like doing country. Something is something. Awesome. And then the administration. For at least
Yeah. the one on Zoom, I don't, to be honest.
I think that, you know,
They're just somewhere that has- I want to figure out what I need to Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.